All right. Well, welcome back to the half hour. What do we got going on for today?
Okay, so today I wanted to talk about the early days of the internet.
All right. Cool.
Yeah. So, because I remember, I personally never had one of those emails, but like 5 out of 10 people, when they were like teenagers, they had those emails like Big Dick Lover 69 and blah 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 and stuff like that. And I just it all that nostalgia brought me back to the early days of the internet.
I think everybody ended up having an email where it ended with 69.
Yeah,
It was like underscore 69 or like
That had
porn
to be-
star 69.
Yeah, that had to be the most used number on email accounts
When
across the board.
Do you remember when was the first time you were online, or where you were?
The first time I was online, I was at school. That was like the first time. We didn't have internet at home. The school had it before we.
Right.
Yeah.
And what did you do?
I don't know. I think it was in the computer lab, and the first thing, the first memory I have was making my first Hotmail account.
Right.
And so my Hotmail account was my name and at hotmail.com when all the emails were still available and
Yeah.
there wasn't really a problem with that.
Yeah.
And that's when people got creative with those emails. Actually, talking about Hotmail, I remember that when we did get email at home, I remember I was checking like my Hotmail account at home, and we were making an account for a friend that didn't have email yet. And my dad's like, "What are you guys looking at?" It's like, "Oh, it's Hotmail. It's this email." So, Hotmail, are you looking at pornography? It's like, no, Dad. It's just it's an email. What's an email? It's like, do they send you porn by mail or what's going on? And I had to explain that it was a mail. It was like a fax and blah blah.
Well,
He was like, he didn't
email
believe
was
me.
pretty cool back then. I remember it was it was kind of like writing an actual letter.
Yeah.
You know, it's especially if I don't know if you had friends that didn't live here or something. I remember there was this girl I liked when I was in Canada, and then I came back and I'd email back and forth with her. And it was like whenever I got an email, it's like, oh, nice, I got an email. And now you get like
500 emails like every day.
every single day, just offering shit.
Back then when there was no spam too.
There was no spam. Yeah.
And when people still started falling for the Nigerian prince scams and all that stuff. It's like, come here. Look at this. I have a long lost cousin.
With $25 million.
Yeah.
Do you remember when? Well, they had these other search engines before, and I think it was like Alta Vista and
Lycos.
Excite, Lycos. Remember Ask Jeeves?
Ask Jeeves.
Whatever happened to that?
I think it just went. It went from Ask Jeeves to Ask.com, and then I think it just.
Did it just?
I think
kind
it's
of fade
still
away?
there,
It's
but
probably still there.
It's not. No one uses it anymore.
Should I go? Let's see.
Check it out?
Ask.com. Yep, still there.
Still there.
Looks kind of crappy though.
Yeah, they probably just stopped. Like they have like a team of 2 people working on it now.
And what was the internet for? It was for email, and I remember I was really into music at that time, and that was
pornography.
well, but not back then though. You couldn't even look at it because it was like
No. It was slow, but it was one of the. It was still like the go-to thing to do. I remember when you guys went on that Washington trip. You went see the monuments and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I couldn't go because my grandmother was sick, so I had to stay back home. And I remember that we had to like do the research of the places you went to visit. And I remember one of them, you went to visit the White House, right? So
yeah.
It was like whitehouse.org or whatever.
Wasn't that
and
a
it was
porn
like
site?
a porn site, yeah. And we were in school actually.
Yeah.
We're like, oh my God, we're gonna get in so much trouble. But yeah. So the porn was still a thing. Like,
But I think
it was
one of the first
major
things that I
things.
remember using it for was going on and checking out bands online because they all apparently had websites.
Okay.
And this is back before Google and all that. So if you had like a favorite band, the only way you could see pictures of them was whatever was on the CD sleeve.
Yeah, the
Like
the cover
they'd have
and
like
stuff,
one or
yeah.
two pictures of the band, and that was
And then
about
some
it.
lyrics and stuff.
Or you could go to like a music store and look at the posters that they had.
The magazines.
Or
were-
buy music magazines, but
Yeah.
that was about it. Like you couldn't just go on Google and look at pictures of your favorite band.
Yeah, no.
And I think the internet kind of started that off. And for some reason, every band had a website from the get-go. So that was
Yeah.
kind of like one of the reasons why I liked the internet.
Yeah, like MTV killed radio, and the internet killed MTV for sure.
Yeah, it took him a while though. I mean,
Oh.
MTV was still
Yeah.
around for a while, and then
But
I think.
it just started doing like it wasn't about music anymore. Like
And then when did porn start to be a thing? Because I mean, at first it was
like
instantly.
back in 1800s.
No. I'm not talking about that. Just on the internet. Because I remember
I think it was instantly like
this was probably 1990. I'm gonna say 6 or
so. Like
7.
the first memories I have of like searching for pornography online, we were at a friend's house, and yeah, it took a while, but you got there. I mean, you did get to like download that
To see a
picture, see a boobie, and because besides that, it was just like renting videos and stuff, which we didn't have access to be honest.
I remember hanging out with, and we were he had internet at home. I didn't get internet at home until I was like 13, probably, or something like that. And even when I did, it was like in the family room. We had one computer, and my mom is like
No pornography.
there's
kids.
a lot of stuff on the internet, and not all of it is good. She's like, don't you dare. And I was like, fine, I'm not gonna,
mess around with
But I
that.
remember I was at our friend's place, and all we knew was Playboy, so we went to Playboy.com, or I think we went to Yahoo and just we just typed down like Playboy, and the website opened up, and all it had was this little dialogue, and it said, "Are you over 18? Yes or no?" So we obviously clicked yes, and that was it.
That was it. Yeah,
you
you
were
were
in.
in,
It was
yeah.
free, and it was all.
But
and
I think that was when broadband started. I don't think
we
dial-up-
didn't no
Was it
this
with
was
dial-up?
dial-up. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Like we had the whole
Oh, it was the worst thing that you were online and someone like unhooked the phone. And,
and it's like fuck.
Yeah. I also
Yeah, this
remember
was-
using the internet for games. I played a game that was called Tibia.
Yeah, but that was later, wasn't it? I mean,
Ish.
this
Not-
is this
not
what you're
that
talking
later.
about?
What? That one.
I'm gonna try to get the microphone in there. And not only that, the connection had to actually be successful.
Yeah,
because it wouldn't work
it would
every
bounce
time.
and bounce.
It would
and
kind of bounce around.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, we're online.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. Now it's
Yeah.
it's so different. I guess kids will never know the real
And then
struggle.
yeah, but it was also like so new because I remember the thing I used it the most when we were like teenagers, like tweens or whatever you call them,
Mm-hmm.
like we're like 12 or 13. I think it was to like chat with girls.
Oh fuck yeah!
Yeah,
Remember
like
chat box?
ICQ and
Well,
Merc
this was
and-
before. So for ICQ, you had to get like a username and all
Yeah.
that kind of crap. And I guess this was this. Whenever you had like a message pop up.
yeah, of course.
I think that was crazy. But before ICQ, you could go on this thing called Chatbox.
Well, it was
And,
just like a chat, and you
yeah,
want a cyber sex?
We'd be in like the computer lab. So you'd say hi to, and it was like a public chat. So
Yeah.
everything just popped up. It wasn't like a private one-on-one thing. So
But then you
you'd-
could private, like, I think you could, like, say, do you,
I would
or you
always
could whisper,
chat.
I think.
I would always just chat openly to someone. So I'd
Okay.
see someone, I don't know, let's say I saw someone named Jenny. I'd be like, hey, Jenny, what's up?
But it was usually like
And
Jenny
then
69.
Oh, yeah, obviously. I was always anti-Hanson 22. That was my nickname.
Hanson the band.
And and I wasn't even like I kind of like him. I do like some of their songs. I don't know. It was just like the bandwagon of hating Hanson
Yeah, exactly.
at the time. But I would publicly chat, and then I guess the first question would be stats, and then you'd lie. You'd be like 5'10". I'm like 17 or whatever.
12 inches.
Yeah. Well, I never said that, but everybody would lie about that,
Yeah.
right?
It was, the worst thing is, I'm sure that 80% of the girls you chatted
We're
with
like
were
old dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But even like here's the thing. There weren't any webcams. They weren't
No.
going to meet you. Why would they do that? You know what I mean?
So I think what they got out of it was just like the thrill of knowing there was like a little kid on the other side, or
Do you think that? But I mean, how much of
maybe,
a thrill are you gonna get out of that? You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know. I mean, there's people that read Daniel Steele novels and just like flick the bean to that. So, I don't know. Everyone has their thing, I guess.
I guess, yeah.
But yeah, early internet, because I was also like trying to remember.
I remember about some of the old internet. Do you remember that Sandra Bullock movie, The Net?
Oh yeah, of course.
And it was crazy how I remember she ordered Domino's online, and it was like the
mind-blowing,
shittiest. I was like, "Whoa!" It was the shittiest fucking graphics that I had ever seen, and that was
course.
like that was just mind
was it
blowing.
like 1990s maybe.
That movie is 1995.
Okay.
So that's even before. I think that's before we had internet available.
No. We had internet in
95?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, but massively available.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't think like I didn't have internet at home until like 1990. I'm gonna say 8.
I think
maybe?
massively available. It was like 94. Yeah.
Not even at school, man.
No, yeah.
We were 10 years. No, we didn't have internet available when we were 10.
Yeah.
We were still.
We didn't have
using-
access to it. It was the older kids, but yeah, we did.
Really?
I think so. Yeah.
Were there even
maybe
websites?
95.
No.
No,
Well,
yeah.
I'm gonna say 96, 95, 6,
Well,
maybe.
who cares?
'cause- Yeah.
It was around there.
Yeah.
Because I remember in sixth grade we had it, and that was
And then, well,
That was
shit,
what?
we were 12, so that was 96 or 7 ish.
97.
96, 7,
Yeah, 96.
something like that. So, yeah, I mean, it wasn't 1995 was very early for all this crap. Remember all the websites would be GeoCities?
Yo, yeah.
It was kind of like the Wix of back then, but you needed to know how to code. So all the websites looked like shit.
like absolute shit. Like,
Yeah.
you remember that like the letters would like sparkle in like colors.
Yeah,
and-
they'd have like rainbow coloring and shit, and they'd be like, yeah.
Oh,
And
so
everything
ugly
would be in
web pages.
hyperlink text.
Oh, yeah.
Everything would be like underlined in blue and stuff.
fuck yeah. Oh man, I'm just so glad that's over now.
Yeah.
We're like really, and that was also part of the problem. You couldn't really like see what pages were legit and which ones weren't.
Yeah.
Because like everyone had just like shitty web pages.
Everything looked like shit.
yeah.
But now it might even be worse because now everything looks amazing.
Legit, yeah.
And
No, that's
there's
true.
a whole bunch of bullshit online. It's just like, what?
And every once in a while, you still like click on a link, and the page is like, "Sorry, 1990s, what the fuck happened here?"
Yeah.
It's like get with the program with a little design going. It's just like a red background
Yeah,
and
just
like rainbow.
go on Wix or whatever and whip up a website in 20 minutes.
The thing I liked the most about the internet was just the time wasting capabilities of it, because there was
Yeah.
just so much to do. Like even just making like the computer talk, like going and like typing it
Yeah.
and making it talk, or going online and just Googling. Well, it was Yahooing back then.
It was
I guess, for me.
Yahooing and then Alta Vista.
Alta
and
Vista.
I'd forgotten about the other one you mentioned. What was it? Lycos, yeah.
and there was so many.
I had
And then you find, like,
an
web
Excite
pages,
email
like-
address, and it's obviously gone.
Really?
But yeah, I used that email when I was about 15, I guess, and stopped using it when we When was this? I guess when we started high school, I just kind of stopped using it, and it's probably gone now.
But going back to chats, which was the earliest one you remember? Not like public chats, but more like a one-on-one. Like
I'm gonna say ICQ, but people talk about Mirk a lot. I never
Mirk,
used
yeah.
that thing.
Merc.
Merc, Mercedes. I don't know. I
So it
guess
was ICQ, Merc. Then there was the Hotmail one, the
MSN Messenger.
MSN Messenger.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. I think they ended up buying what was this? ICQ, and then they sold it to like a Russian company later, and that's where it ended up.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was MSN, and then Facebook chat came on, and then I guess the WhatsApp just took everything by storm.
And remember, like plagiarism at the early internet when the teachers really didn't know what was going on.
Yeah,
it lasted for like a year.
You could just go online and
just,
like download an
print it.
essay, and
Yeah.
like boop, there you go.
Good times. Don't plagiarize, but
Yeah,
good
don't
times.
do that. But
We were young.
when would you say that the music downloading was still early internet? Because it was probably like 99.
Oh
when,
yeah,
when
for
like,
sure.
Napster.
Yeah, that was like early internet.
Because that would still take a while. If you wanted to download a song, it could take about
like
an hour or two or whatever.
An hour.
If you didn't have like a fast connection, and if the host didn't have fast connection.
Then you were trying to download like 7 different songs at the same time, and you would just like leave it there. But yeah, that was before they invented like
that was broadband though, right? Was that 56K
that was broadband.
now?
Yeah, that was broadband already. Or when I started using Napster, that was broadband.
I thought it was brilliant whenever somebody told me, because I started getting into music when I was really young compared to other people. So I think my first CD I bought it at age like 10. So I had to like save my allowance for like 4 or 5 weekends to actually go out and buy a CD, because they were like $15 or something.
Yeah.
So whenever I bought a CD, I'd listen to the whole fucking thing, because I knew, I spent 6 weeks allowance on that shit, so I better fucking listen to the whole thing.
It was weird because when you bought a CD, when someone bought a CD, you have probably already heard all of the songs. Maybe 1 or 2 you didn't, but at least the 3 or 4 like singles.
Well, my kind of golden rule was if I liked 3 singles, I would buy the CD.
Okay.
And yeah, because I mean, I wasn't going to spend $15. And what I did if I didn't like the whole thing.
Buying like a Lou Vega CD, like Mambo number 5.
No.
And the rest of the songs were just like shit.
That is a totally Napsterable song, man. I would never pay for that record.
I bought the Lou Vega Mambo number 5 CD. The worst CD I've ever bought.
1 of 5 buyers worldwide. And if I didn't like too many songs, I would just get the tape for $7.
Yeah.
Because we had those like Sony boom boxes where you had like the CD and the tape. And before all this, before actually buying CDs, sometimes I'd just listen to the radio and I'd have my fingers on the record button for the tape and I'd just record that shit.
Wow, that's so analog.
Yeah. Yeah. Back in the day. And then when Napster came along, I was like, what? Music is free? And I was like, this is amazing. I was downloading and burning CDs and shit. And then I studied music professionally, and I knew I kind of understood how bad that was. Yeah. And I was like, oh.
Because it wasn't bad in and of itself, because you really didn't know about intellectual property and all that came and how they did.
Yeah.
You were just like, I have access to it now. I don't care how I get it. I just want to.
Well, I mean, and Sean Fanning's argument was, it kind of made sense. He's saying, listen, I'm not stealing music. I'm just connecting you to someone who has it, and they're lending it. They're not lending it to you. They're sharing it, but it's kind of the same.
Yeah, like what's the difference? Where's the line
between... Like borrowing it from a friend and copying it on tape. I understand that it's going to sound a bit better on like a digital file or whatever.
Yeah. No, but even then,
and
what's the difference?
You're actually duplicating, copyrighted material, which is obviously illegal.
Of course.
But, at the time, I just didn't kind of know right from wrong. And I
think we did know, but it was like, you know what? I don't care. I don't have access to it, and I really want to have access to it. And I think that was... And you wouldn't see beyond those consequences of what it would entail.
I think I stopped using that kind of thing when LimeWire came out.
Oh, the AIDS of the internet?
Was that the AIDS of the internet?
Man, like you would go on LimeWire and you would get AIDS. I mean, it was... every computer that had LimeWire had so many fucking Trojan horses and viruses and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
that
I
was
guess
like the AIDS.
That was like 04 when I started college, and that's when...
You would just buy the CD.
Yeah, I was just... I'm just going to buy. And then iTunes came out, I think, like a year before, or
you could
just
buy
about
the
that year,
individual
where you could
songs.
buy, and I thought that was a good deal. They were 99 cents. If you like a song, you buy it, you have it forever. Sounds like a good deal.
Then Spotify came along and just changed the whole fucking
game changers. But I was talking to my younger brother. I have a brother who's 12 years younger than I am, and this was, how long ago was this? I'm gonna say 8 years maybe, and he's getting all this like bootleg music and shit off the internet, and I was like, you got to pay for that. And he's like, music? Why would I pay for music? And he just didn't understand the idea of paying for music, which is something that I grew up with. So I was like, what the fuck? Like, no one from the younger generation even feels like they should pay for music because it should be free, quote unquote.
Yeah, I get it. I think you just like take it for granted. Like,
because I mean, I got a treat. So I found this. I keep a ton of like shit and junk in a closet from the old days. and I found my college cell phone, dude. And this, believe it or not, this shit was a $400 phone. This was a baller phone in like 2005. I tried to charge it, but I couldn't find the cable, and the battery was kind of blown up.
Fucking nostalgia. Let me see that.
But this was a really good phone for its time.
Wow.
It was, I mean, like a Motorola Razr. Right? Yeah, well, the Razr was in fashion at that time, and I think the Razr was like $200. This was $400.
Yeah, it was like the step up of it.
But it's. I mean, I don't know. It's just so much. If you put it in your pocket, it's so much more comfortable than having this shit.
Oh, for sure. But you can't see porn on that thing, man. And that's...
Yeah, but then do you really need it on your phone, though? Like, that's...
Of course you do.
You don't need it on your phone.
No, you don't. You don't need porn.
That's why all these kids are fucking, like, crazy about sex nowadays.
No, I think there's just so much multimedia, like videos and YouTube and stuff, where not having a phone with, like, a good screen is just... It's not viable anymore.
When do you think YouTube became like a big deal? Because
that's a good
in the
question.
the early days of YouTube, it wasn't that easy. First of all, video editing was not that easy. Second of all, not every kid in America had a 4K camera in their pocket.
Yeah, no. You had to go.
You had
like,
to borrow your
handy
dad's camera and film, and then edit, and then
And then all the cameras were made to go like direct to tape, right? They weren't made to go digital. Like, so.
Exactly. So I mean,
so you had to have a new camera, like newish.
I remember going on YouTube in like 2004, I think. But there wasn't a lot of stuff there, and the people who uploaded were highly technical people. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like just any other guy filming on his full HD camera on his cell phone and just uploading it straight into YouTube. There were no influencers. There was nothing. There were no YouTubers.
Yeah.
So when would you say was kind of like that transition from being just like a video website to just, like a full-on channel of distribution?
Didn't YouTube kind of start like more or less with like copyright issues where they would like upload?
I think
like,
it was mostly like news shit and stuff, or
I don't know, man. I think that's an interesting thing, like the history of YouTube.
Yeah.
To like look it up, because I really have no idea.
Right. Yeah. I guess not until like, I'm going to say 2009, maybe.
Yeah.
Did it really start to happen? Because Google bought it out in 2005, I think, if I'm not mistaken. No, and that was like, it was like a huge deal because they bought it for like 1.7 billion and everyone was losing their minds. And then, a couple of years ago, Facebook bought WhatsApp for 19 billion, which is, it's like crazy.
I don't know when YouTube became what it is, like just the sheer quantity of content.
When did you have your first username on YouTube?
I think it was like 2009.
2008,
maybe.
Okay. Yeah, that's about when
we were in multimedia, so we
exactly. Yeah, we were considered media savvy. When we started filming, I owned video cameras because you couldn't really get much video out of this shit.
No, that was a shitty ass. Yeah, like the camera.
And it had a flip camera. Check it out. And this was, I'm telling you, dude, this was a fucking awesome phone at the time.
Yeah. Then the BlackBerry, that was what
the BlackBerry was around. I remember when the iPhone came out. The iPhone came out in fall of 2007.
Oh, the iPhone shut my mouth. So like, I pronounced it. I'm like, there's no fucking way that fucking shitty ass
is gonna do anything.
Is gonna take away the #1 spot from BlackBerry.
Right.
Everyone just likes to click from the keyboard. Mm-hmm. You can't have that fucking touch keyboard shit. It's not gonna work. No one likes that crap. Within the year, I was proved so fucking wrong.
Well, that makes two of us, because I remember when the iPod came out, and I think it was probably 2000. Probably. Mm-hmm. Give or take a year, I don't know. And one of our friends, he bought a brand new iMac. So the way they were pushing the new product out was if you bought an iMac from Apple, they would give you a free iPod.
That one of those like?
Yeah, they had the big curved back end to it.
The colors and stuff.
Exactly. So they give you a free iPod. And I remember picking that thing up. And I said, what a stupid fucking idea. Like, who the hell wants to have music in a fucking, like a weird squared piece of shit? Like, I want CDs, man. That's the way I listen to my music. Boy, I was wrong, you know?
Yeah, but it's just changing is just so fucking painful, I think. And each time something new comes, people are gradually like been proved wrong so many times that now it's like, no, that's probably
You just
gonna
gotta
happen.
embrace it. Like, okay.
Like, you know what the fuck in Norway?
But here's the thing, like, there's no way when I was, I don't know, when we were, I don't know, 12, 13, and they were like, by the year 2020, cars are going to be flying.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay.
Nothing's
but I would have
flying yet,
never,
motherfuckers.
I would have never imagined what these things
We're gonna be able to.
were going to be able to do. I would have never, ever imagined it. Like, you can literally just disappear with this shit, and you're going to be alive for a while.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And well, what I was saying, like the next big thing, or I think is, have you seen like in Scandinavia? I don't know if it's
Is that Norway or
or
Sweden?
I don't know where it is, but they're starting to like put implants in their like
On your wrist or
on
something?
your wrist. Yeah, and so you have this chip, and with that you just like go into places and buy stuff, and you don't even have to carry your.
Is
phone
that
or
kind of like
anything.
one of those like RFID tracking chips? Or
Yeah, but it has more to it than that, and it's starting to
That's
like.
kind of Black Mirror-y shit.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
fucking dystopian as fuck. But
Yeah.
it starts pushing the boundaries, and I don't really know.
When is it going to stop? You know what I mean?
I think they are gonna find out a way to like integrate your fucking smartphone into your body some way.
That's
or
going to be
somehow.
so horrible. Oh, dude, I don't even want to think
Wait,
about
what
that.
happened to the fucking Google Glasses? Remember that?
I
shit?
think it went bust. I think
Yeah,
it
but
just
why
was-
though?
I guess it just wasn't viable. I don't know.
Because that just
Well,
seems
first
like
of
a
all,
great fucking
you
idea.
look like a fucking douche if you were wearing it. So I mean, why?
Probably,
no, like,
yeah,
why
yeah.
would you do that? What else do you remember from the early days?
Early days of the internet. So, what you used it
What would
for
you
downloading
cons-
stuff like
Well,
movies?
but this was, downloading a movie was a big fucking deal.
well, yeah.
before.
I mean, how early is early days?
Yeah,
or-
that's what I
Yes.
wanted. I think we should do early internet from like 95. I'm going to go out on a limb. Like 95 to 2000,
Okay.
probably.
Okay. So,
Because I mean, streaming video was
no,
impossible. There was no way. And I remember
You could
watching,
download it, but
it
and
was
would take
shit.
like 40 days or
And it
whatever.
was shit.
And it was like the shittiest quality you've
Yeah.
ever seen. Yeah. No, for sure. It was just bad.
So it was probably like 95 to 2000, and that's when
Yeah.
it just kind of started to get a little bit.
Yeah, when it went
Better.
just because they started coding and what do you call them where they like make the information smaller and smaller and smaller.
Oh fuck, I don't know, just compressing, I guess.
Yeah, all that stuff. That's what started booming the internet because before compressing, the files were just too big and it was just too much information.
Do you miss anything?
I think the thing I miss the most is bullshitting. You can't bullshit anymore. You can't
Yeah.
be like, no, I
Yeah,
read
because
that.
someone will ask
Yeah.
Siri, and it's like bullshit. You
Yeah,
owe
I
me
know.
money, you know.
It's like, no, I'm sure that this guy did this, blah, blah,
And
blah.
there's always that fucking smartass who has to Google it on the
Yeah.
spot, and it's like, dude, come on, like you don't have to challenge me with everything I say. You know
And I
what
mean, it's a double-edged sword because then, like, if you Google something, like, who was the first person to blah, 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 you're going to
Yeah.
have, like, 10 different answers online. And
Or-
you can't, like, really...
You know what I really hate? Whenever someone asks you what the population of your city is,
Oh, it's like...
and you tell them, and then they'll go and check, and it's always going to be different. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
and what happened to just, like, fucking arguing and letting someone say something stupid and exaggerated and then
get
just
away with it.
discuss that for a while. Like,
Yeah.
there's no way, and then
Yeah.
compare and stuff. But now it's just like, boop, boop, no, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, no, yeah, you're right. Oh, that's amazing. And
I
that's
think-
it. That's the end of the fucking conversation.
I mean, one of the cool things about the old internet was that you couldn't do everything on the internet. So it kind of led to more social interaction.
That's true.
And now, I mean, you don't really need to, you know, if you need to send, like, fax is pretty much gone.
Yeah, that's fucking dead as fuck. Actually, I had
video
to send
and
a fax,
photos.
and you can send a fax online.
So yeah,
You
so it's
just scan
yeah.
it and they'll
Yeah.
just send it. But yeah.
So I think that's probably the thing that I miss. That now, everything's got to be online, and I guess it does give you a more like a mobile lifestyle.
Oh, for sure.
But at the same time, not because you're quicker, you're not going to be more efficient. You know what I mean?
no,
Like
just
go to the
something-
office, get your shit done, and go home.
something that
you know
we
what I mean?
didn't live as adults. As adults, we never lived getting lost because you have
Oh
your
yeah,
cell
yeah,
phone.
yeah. Well, I did a lot of traveling pre
Yeah.
Google Maps and shit, and yeah, it was
You
a
got
lot
lost.
different. Yeah, hell yeah.
But that's like as a youngster where you really had nowhere to go. Like you could be late or whatever. Because when I toured Europe, we didn't have smartphones,
Yeah.
right? So it was maps and stuff. But now with the fucking smartphone, it's like everything is there, like on your fingertips. Yeah, because I remember going, like traveling and buying the fucking book for the city.
Oh, you actually had to buy a map
And like what museum, what places to stay at, where to eat, and all that crap. Because you couldn't look it up online, like on the go. You might do some research online before you went to the
Yeah.
place.
But there wasn't much
And
either.
there wasn't much either.
Now you got like Yelp and all these people
yeah.
writing their shitty ass reviews, which we can talk about at some other time because that's a big deal nowadays.
Yelping, yeah,
Yelp,
fucking
yeah.
hate Yelpers.
Yeah.
Anyways, and all those things kind of mutated. They didn't die per se, because like for example, the Michelin star restaurants.
Reviews, yeah.
That's what it started with. It was like just a book where people who like to drive through Europe, they would tell you what were good restaurants
Oh
to
right,
stop by, right?
because that was because of the Michelin,
Michelin,
the map guide or whatever.
The tire
Yeah.
thing, and that's how it started. And then it evolved into this like fucking prestigious like stuff, because if you were on Michelin, your fucking sales went through the roof, right? And it just started like evolving into glamour, I guess, or whatever. But yeah, before it was all like books and just word of mouth. Like, oh, wait, you've been to this and that city? Where did you go? What did you see? Was it good? Was it worth it? No. Oh, this person said it wasn't worth it. And now it's just like top 10 things to see in Rome or whatever. And you just go see that. And then,
Yeah.
Early internet, but more early computers, the games. It was Minesweeper.
Minesweeper. Remember Bolo, where you had tanks and you like shoot all these people?
Solitaire, and that pinball one. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, I remember that.
Man, shitty ass games. That's when I started like, you know what? I need a better game. And I started buying.
Remember that? You remember that old site? It was called duty.com.
Oh,
We'd be in computer class and it would be like nonstop cartoons of like animals and people like pooping. And that was it. And we'd spend hours on it and they would never repeat. Like, I mean, these
Yeah.
people put some fucking serious work into it.
They were content creators,
yeah,
no
yeah,
joke.
literally.
Yeah, for sure. Oh my God.
So would you say that early internet stretches, let's say 95 to 2000, 2001?
Yeah, at most.
Should we leave it at
We'll leave it at that.
Okay.
And then we'll do the medium internet.
Yeah.
When like all those like new discoveries and all that new stuff's not discoveries, fuck. The new
Inventions, I
inventions
guess.
or yeah.
Okay, so I think we're good. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks for listening. We'll grab you guys next week. And
Sure. If you guys want to drop us a message or anything, look us up on Instagram. It's handle at the Half Hour. You can find us on YouTube with the same handle, and on Facebook coming soon, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's not on there yet.
no, it's not. Fuck
It
Facebook.
might be by the time you see this. So thanks for watching / listening, and we'll see you guys next week.
Yes, we will.
All right.